thought I would check in for a midweek debate. Now, on our Facebook and Instagram page on Black and White Banter, we put a question out today to you Newcastle fans, asking who you would like to see back from injury first in this relegation battle. Now, admittedly, I thought it would be a landslide for Wilson. So obviously the options are Callum Wilson, Miguel Almiron and Allan Maximin. Who you would prefer to be back in the team this Friday against Aston Villa if you could. I did think it would be a landslide for Wilson just because of his goals, but the votes, we've got about 128 people have voted now over both social media platforms. Quite surprising. So percentage-wise, we are looking at the moment, at about 55% have gone for Callum Wilson, about 20% have gone for Maximin, and about 25% have gone for Almiron. Obviously, people are still commenting daily. So if you do have Facebook and Instagram, be sure to search out Black and White Banter for more weekly and daily debates. But it's an interesting one. I did go into that, asking that question on the supporters groups, assuming that everyone would go for Wilson. I mean, we all know the pundits keep throwing the stats at us, how many goals he's been responsible for us. I think at one point it was something like 55% of all goals that we've scored have come from him. But a lot of people have gone for Almiron, and I've just flicked over some of the comments on why. A lot of people have gone for Almiron for work rate, his influence, how he never stops running, his creativity, which surprises me a little bit. I think Almiron's come good more so the last couple of weeks. And obviously there is a lot of Allan Maximin Newcastle fans out there. And again, another statistic that was thrown at us quite regular when he was injured was that our goals had totally dried up. And I think our win percentage when Maximin is in the team to when he's not in the team is very, very significant. And he's totally our outball. So I think for me personally, I would go for Callum Wilson because we are in a relegation battle. And any chances at all, and let's be totally honest, under Brucey Ball and the current state of things, if the West Brom game on Sunday was anything to go off, we are not creating very much. When we do get a sniff, and I'm talking a tiny, tiny sniff, we need someone like Callum Wilson to bang them goals in, because the only way you win football matches without sounding like the Michael Owen of pundits is by scoring goals. And I think on Sunday, when the likes of Joe Linton were getting our best chances in the match, that can't keep happening. He's not reliable enough. He's not reliable at all to put the ball in the back of the net. So that's for me why Wilson would be my first choice to come back from injury. I totally understand Maximin. He is very, very crucial to giving us an out ball, because when we are trying to break, give him the ball on the left-hand side, you know he is going to carry the ball up the field, do some crazy things with the football that we could only dream of doing. And I think everyone in the team breathes a sigh of relief when he gets the ball and everybody pushes out and uses him as the outlet. Similarly, I think he has become better at scoring goals a little bit more. I think his shooting as the season gone on, when he has played, has got a little bit better. He wants to have a shot as often as possible from the edge of the box. But I just don't see recently how influential he's been. I think we're seeing too much of it in fits and starts. He's become guilty a little bit for me of giving the ball away in silly positions, like, you know, probably 5 yards out from his own 18-yard box, where we really need to get the ball out. Defending how we've been more recently, I think if he's not up for it, the team isn't up for it, and we need to see more of him up for it when he does come back. The argument for Almiron, I totally understand his work rate, and yes, we do miss that. Any player that grafts like a kid who's just had 3 bags of sherbet on Christmas Eve, the same as Almiron does, we are going to miss when he's not in the team. 90th minute, you can guarantee he will be chasing down that full-back or chasing down that central midfielder like there is no tomorrow. And we're all looking at each other sometimes like, where the hell is this kid getting the energy from? But is that enough for me to want him back first out of the 3? I don't think so. I think from an attacking point of view, Almiron has become a lot better the last 2 or 3 matches. I would even go as far as saying, as I have said on my previous videos, he's outshone Maximin in a couple of matches, which is a big statement because Almiron has not always had that quality. And we all know when he's in a one-on-one position running at a defender, he becomes a little bit like, oh, what do I do with it now? So I do understand the argument for his work rate. And if we're going to continue to see the goals and the chances created that he's been capable of the last 2-3 weeks, basically since Graham Jones has been in, then yes, there is an argument for him to be probably one of our most valuable cogs that's missing at the moment from that front three. But for me, it has to be Wilson. Please get in the comments and let me know which player you would prefer back from injury first in this hypothetical universe where we could actually pick out and grab one and put them straight in the starting 11 for Aston Villa on Friday. We did also put a question out that was a bit more unanimous. It was a would you rather. I know would you rathers, if anyone's ever played it, have never ever been nice. They're not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a very difficult decision. So this week's would you rather was, would you rather Mike Ashley in charge for another 2 seasons, but we sack Steve Bruce today? Steve Bruce gone. Or, big or, would you rather Steve Bruce in charge for 2 more seasons? God, what an awful thought. And Mike Ashley sold today. Now, we did expect this one to win by a landslide with obviously regards to Ashley finally getting out of our football club. He has always been the problem, whether it be the Steve McLarens, the Joe Kinnears, God, the list could go on, the John Carvers. I've got a lot of time for John Carver, just not as a manager. Obviously, the Steve Bruces, everything that's happened in his tenure, I don't even want to get into that, but I think it was a landslide on Facebook and Instagram that it would be Ashley out first, because new owners would hopefully realise what an awful coach Steve Bruce has been for us so far and get rid. But again, if that's something you want to give your opinion on to us, please just drop in the comments and let us know who you would rather want. There was a couple of people in the Facebook comments who actually said Steve Bruce first, which for me, if anything sums up how bad that man has been as our club manager, it is the fact that some fans would actually want him gone over Mike Cashley, the bloke who has ruined our football club for over 10 years now. If that doesn't tell you the whole story and what a terrible job Steve Bruce is doing, I don't know what does. But again, it's totally opinion, and I see both arguments, but with the Mike Ashley one, it was a landslide. So that's this week's debate. I would absolutely love it if you could drop in the comments and give me your opinions on who you would rather, and obviously which player you would like back from injury. Like and subscribe, and get Black and White Banter on YouTube, and get Black and White Banter on Facebook and Instagram, where the content, the questions, the debates are all coming thick and fast. And I'll catch up with you in the next 24 hours for the Aston Villa preview.